university, contact to the university, and said to them to solve the problem because I cannot help you because I'm only a lecturer. Sorry. The sequence activity process concentrating on converting the project activity from a list to a diagram to act as a first step to publish the baseline. Sequence activity inputs. I spoke about some subsequence in the past. Project document, project this. Project documents that can be considered as inputs for this process include but are not limited to activity attributes described in this section. Activity attributes may describe a necessary sequence of elements or define procedure or successor relationship, as well as define lead and lag and logical relationship between the activity. Activity list. I described that before. Assumption lag. Described this before. Milestone list. Described before. And I spoke about this, original asset and this. Sequence activity tools and techniques. Precedence diagram method. The precedence diagram method, PDM, is a technique used for constructing a schedule model in which activity are represented by nodes and are graphically linked by one or more logical relationships to show the sequence in which the activity are to be performed. PDM includes 4 types of dependencies or logical relationship. A processor activity is an activity that logically comes before a dependent activity in a schedule. A successor activity is an activity that logically comes before a dependent activity in a schedule. A successor activity is a dependent activity that logically comes after another activity in a schedule. These relationships are defined below and are illustrated in figure 6.9. Figure 6.9 means this. Okay, now I want to speak about these 4 logical relationships. This is so important. we can use one of these relationship between the activity. Installing the operating system on a PC cannot start until the PC hardware is assembled. Operating PC is successor, hardware is predecessor. This is the first relationship between the activity. Finish to start, FS. Number 2. As you see this, the first in this diagram, activity A, activity B, there is a relationship between this activity and part FS. This is the arrow. This arrow between activity A and activity B. Finish to start, FS. Number 2, finish to finish, FF. Finish to finish, FF. A logical relationship in which a successor activity cannot finish until a predecessor activity has finished. For example, writing a document means predecessor is required to finish before editing the document, means successor can finish. Writing a document is required to finish before editing the document can finish. This is a relationships means finish to finish, FF. As you see in diagram, in the right middle, Activity A, activity B. This is the arrow. You can see means finish. Activity B should be finished in same time. Okay. Do you have a question? Do you understand these two relationships? Okay. Okay, continue. Number 3. Start to start. SS. Start to start. SS. A logical relationship in which a successor activity cannot start until a predecessor activity has started. For example, level concrete means successor cannot begin until pour foundation means predecessor begins. It means that activity A, as you see in diagram, in the left, activity A and activity B should start in the same time. As you see, start to start is S. This is the third relationship between activities. Start to start is S. And number 4, start to finish is F. A logical relationship in which a successor activity cannot finish until a predecessor activity has started. For example, a new accounts payable system means successor has to start before the old accounts payable system can be shut down, means predecessor. Okay, as you see in the diagram, the bottom, activity A, activity B, there is an arrow between them, start to finish, S, F. Okay, there is 4 relationship between the activities. We can select one of these and use as a relationship between the activities. is related to the logical relationship between the activities in the project and if we can identify the relationship, that's okay. If cannot, we can consult with the expert to understand the relationship and logical relationship between the activities. And now I want to speak about the frequency of the use this relationship. In PDM, FS is the most commonly used type of predecessor relationship. We use finish to start FS more and more in the network, the schedule network. The SF relationship is very rarely used because it's this relationship is so hard. But is included to present a complete list of the PDM relationship types. Two activities can have two logical relationships at the same time. For example, SS and FF. Multiple relationships between the same activities are not recommended. It's so important. Multiple relationships between the same activities are not recommended. So, a decision has to be made to select the relationship with the highest impact. Closed loops are also not recommended in logical relationship. This is so important. Closed loops are also not recommended in logical relationship. You should understand this relationship well because so important, and we use this relationship in a schedule network and we should understand well. Okay. Dependency, determination, and integration. Dependencies may be characterized by the following attributes: mandatory or dictionary, internal or external as described below. Dependency has 4 attributes, but 2 can be applicable at the same time in the following ways. Mandatory external dependency, mandatory internal dependency. Discretionary external dependency or discretionary internal dependency. Number 1, mandatory dependency. Mandatory dependency are those that are legally or contractually required or inherent in the nature of the work. Mandatory dependency often involve physical limitation, such as on a construction project, where it's impossible to erect the superstructure until after the foundation has been built, or on an electronics project where our prototype has to be built before it can be tested. Mandatory dependency are sometimes referred to as a hard logical or hard dependency. Technical dependency may not be mandatory. The project team determines which dependency are mandatory in the process of sequencing their activities. Mandatory dependency should not be confused with assigning schedule constraint in the scheduling tool. Discretionary dependency. Discretionary dependency are sometimes referred to as preferred logical, differential logic, or soft logic. Discretionary dependency are established based on knowledge of best practice within a particular application area or some unusual aspect of the project where the specific sequence is desired, even though there may be other acceptable sequences. For example, generally accepted best practice requires that during construction, after finishing the building work, this order is not mandatory and Sorry, there was some problem. Okay. Please wait to share the document and continue. Okay, now you can see the picture. Okay. Continue. Discretionary dependency should be fully documented since they can create arbitrary total float value and can limit later scheduling options. When fast tracking techniques are employed, fast tracking techniques, we can compress the time of the project. If we want to compress the time of the project, we use this technique, tracking techniques, fast tracking techniques. These discretionary dependencies should be and considered for modification or removal. The project team determines which dependency are discretionary during the process of sequencing the activities. External dependency. External dependency involves a relationship between project activities and non-project activities. These dependencies are usually outside of the project team's control. For example, the testing activity in a software project may be dependent on the delivery of hardware from an external source, or governmental environmental hearing may need to be held before site preparation can begin on a construction project. The project management team determines which dependency are not during the process of sequencing the activities. Internal dependency. The precedence relationship between project activities and are generally inside the project team's control. For example, if the team cannot test a machine until they assemble it, there is an internal mandatory dependency. The project management team determines which dependency are internal during the process of sequencing their activities. Okay, now we have 39 students in the WhatsApp group. Okay. 39. But in the class, we have 60 students. Is it true? In the WhatsApp group, 39%, and in the class, 60%. Names are duplicated. Oh, you enter for 2 or 3 device. The explanation is not clear. It's possible to force the explanation with yes. Okay. For which one? Okay. Leads and lags. This is so important. And lags for sequencing the activities. A lead is the amount of time a successor activity can be advanced with respect to the predecessor activity. For example, on a project to construct a new office building, the landscaping could be scheduled to start 2 weeks prior to the scheduled punch list completion. This would be shown as a finish to start with a 2-week lead, as shown in figure 610. This lead is often represented as a negative value for lag in scheduling software. As you see, we have 2 activities: complete punch list and landscape building. One relationship between 2 activities. Finish to start, FS, 2 negative weeks means lead. It means that 2 weeks before of complete your finish activity A, we can start the activity B. Yes. Mr. Ali said lead is overlap. Yes, lead is overlap. Yes. If we want to compress the time, use the lead. And it means that we can use overlap. Mr. Khazal said, can you change the time of the lecture? No, sorry. Because the university scheduled the time and I cannot change it. It is related to the university. Sorry. And now I want to speak about the lag. A lag is the amount of time a successor activity will be delayed with respect to the predecessor activity. This is related to the delay. For example, a technical writing team may begin editing the draft of the large document 15 days after they begin writing it. This can be shown as a start-to-start relationship with a 15-day lag as shown in figure 610. Means that this write draft is an activity, edit draft is an activity. There is one relationship between them. The relationship is start to start, SS. And the lag is 15 days. It means that when write draft is a start, after 15 days, edit draft should be started. There is 15 days delay between activity A and activity B. Lag can also be represented in project schedule network diagrams as shown in figure 611 in the relationship between activity H and I. Activity H and I. As you see, between H and I, we have a start-to-start relationship and 10 lag. It means that when activity H is a start, after 10 days, activity A should be started. One student said you send a PDF for each page so that we can translate the lecture. For first, we can speak about the schedule management in this PDF. You want to translate in English to Arabic. Yes, Mr. Basim sent this lecture in the WhatsApp group, as you can see. No, some students said want to translate the English language to Arabic language. Is related to you because I speak English in this class, because I cannot speak Arabic language. I can speak Persian language and English language. If you want to translate this in Arabic language, you can. Now, in this class, I speak about the schedule management and cost management in the later. Okay. As you see, between the activity H and activity I, we have a SS relationship plus 10 days lag. You can translate some word in Arabic language to better understanding the issue. Okay. Between activity H and I, as indicated by the nomenclature start to start plus 10. Start to start plus 10 days lag. Even through the office is not shown related to the time scale. The project management team determines the dependency that may require a lead or a lag to accurately define to logical relationship. The use of leads and lags should not replace a scheduled logic. Also, duration estimates do not include any leads or lag. It's really important. Duration estimates do not include any leads or lag. Leads or lag is not related to the duration of the activity. It is related to the logical relationship between the activity. Activities and the related assumption should be documented. This is the network you can see in PDM method. As you see, the activity is on the node and the arrow is relationship between the activity. For example, between activity begin and activity A, we use finish to start relationship. without lead or lag. And for example, between activity B and activity C, there is a start-to-start relationship, as you see. Between activity F and activity G, the relationship is finish to start plus 15 days lag. Activity L and activity J, we have finish to start relationship, as you see. Okay. Finish to finish, sorry. I said finish to start, sorry. Finish to finish, yes. FF, yes. FF. It means that when the activity L is finished, activity J should be finished again. I repeat again, I'm only a lecturer. I cannot change the time. This time is scheduled by the university. I cannot change it. Sorry, sorry. Is related to the university. Change it. Okay. I think it's enough for today. Until page 172. Okay. Do you have a question? Okay. I repeat again. All students should be joined in the WhatsApp group. Now 44 students joined to the group. What about previous pages? Are they no? In this class, we speak about the schedule management, not all of this PDF. This PDF is so long, but in this class, we speak about the project schedule management. You should read it in project schedule management until 172 pages now. We spoke about that before. And you can ask your friends in the group, and the oldest student can consult you. Okay. Okay. If there is no problem, this session is finished, and continue this matter in last session. Okay. The class is finished. Allah Hafiz. Fi amanillah. Bye.